Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Buddham dhammam sangham namasami. Welcome everybody to this Sunday morning meditation program with the Dhamma-Dharini Sangha here in Northern California. Today is traditionally the anniversary of the Ploughing Festival, where the young child, Siddhartha, the Bodhisattva, was brought to public celebration with his family, and they put him to rest in the shade of it's commonly called a rose apple tree. And then the rest of the family and all the people of the town were observing this ceremonial opening of the fields, the beginning of the farm season. It's said that the young Siddhartha was able to observe the activities from a distance as his father, the king, pulled the first line of cutting the earth, and he noticed. This is not in the sutras; it's in the commentary in the later tradition that developed. That Siddhartha noticed the worm being cut by the plow, and he noticed a small bird coming and picking and eating the worms that were exposed when the ground was opened up, and then noticed another predatory bird swooping down and catching one of the small birds. And then Siddhartha spontaneously, naturally entered into samādhi, into the meditation of jhana. It just occurs to me that one of the ways, the most natural of all possible ways to enter into samadhi is through the liberation of the heart by loving kindness. And perhaps that child, seeing the cycle of life and death with the creatures eating the other creatures, experienced a heart opening of compassion for those beings that were the predators, those who were the victims, for the entire situation. And that from that reflection on compassion, there could be the opening up to stillness, opening up to the mind withdrawing from sensual desire or any unwholesome states, pulling inwards and going to that very pure and quiet state. As I'm speaking to you this morning, we were in the outdoor pavilion at the Dhammadharani Monastery, which is the weather's warm enough for us to do some practice here. I can be aware in the background of the some kind of noises coming from the neighborhood. Hopefully with this microphone, they don't come to you as much as they come to me. But there's some kind of machinery, and there's could be a car going by or some people walking by. The wind is blowing. The birds are chirping. The grass in the back part of our yard is very tall. Right now, we haven't cut it yet this spring, and so it's more than probably more than my height. And there's many creatures who live in the grass. So being outdoors, being surrounded by life, surrounded by ordinary life of creatures and people going about their everyday activities, the things that they do for a living, then it's very special to have access to be able to enter into meditation and have the mind step away from that and to naturally come to a place where attention is not always jumping out, jumping to each sound or each sensation or each visible object that comes along, but instead having the mind pull back from those external things and at first just noticing at the gate of the sensation. So the sound of vibration is happening at the gate of the hearing faculty. It's just as a vibration, and the sight is just happening at the gate of the seeing faculty with the eyes, and the touching sensations when the whether it be the temperature of the air or the breeze that's blowing, which is very clear for me, or it could be somebody sitting inside a room that the temperature of the room and the touch of the body pressing on the seat, the touch of the clothing touching the body, all of these different sensations can be noticed right there at the sense faculty. And with that, one has an opportunity to catch a kind of a glimpse of the mind, or of consciousness or awareness, which is a silent and still point at the center of all of those sensations, as if you were operating a merry-go-round. I guess there's a some kind of a machine in the middle of the wheel, which is grounded in the solid earth, which is not spinning around. And I suppose there could be an operator who's standing right there by that, on the solid ground by the uh, machine at the center, and then passing around, passing around, passing around. You see the horses and the dragons and the whatever the different animals are, and the children and the um, wagons, are all the different kinds of toys on the merry-go-round going by one, going by, going by, going by. And that's like all of the contacts that are happening with the senses are like the objects passing by. If you are somehow seated at the center of that merry-go-round, but then the mind itself, or consciousness itself, is um, something. Uh, it's almost as if it's something invisible, because you can't see the consciousness directly, but there's something in the middle which is still, uh, which is receiving all of these sensations. And then the mind can be lose interest in tracing after the sensations that come and go, and just be becoming interested in awareness itself. Uh, and this is one of the ways to come to perfect stillness, to allow the mind to drop its engagement with a lot of different objects. In just the same way, with the constant merry-go-round of ideas that the mind is naturally fabricating, it's even more powerful than the sound of the bird chirping, or the person walking by, or the sight of the sun shining, or the Buddhist flags flittering in the wind. Even more powerful than that are the things that the mind is fabricating about my worries, my stories, my wishes, my wants, my plans, the things I like, the things I don't like, et cetera, et cetera. And so then even the things fabricated by the mind can be more powerful than a tsunami, or a cyclone, a tremendous tornado of thoughts and obsessions. Uh, but then it's also possible to just see those things going by, arising and ceasing. Uh, a thought is even more ephemeral and short living than the sight of a fluttering flag. The uh, feeling is something that's so subtle, it's just there for a second, then it goes. And so then one can watch that merry-go-round for a little while, just seeing the arising and disappearing, as what comes into awareness and goes out of awareness, comes in, goes out, comes in, goes out, until there's no more desire to reach out and connect with all of those passing things. Instead, mind is willing to uh, leave them alone, just let them rise and pass by themselves, not adding energy. And then when there's that kind of disengagement, then the mind can come uh, internally, uh, if there's the thought of loving kindness or the thought of compassion, a similar kind of a quality, like the empty, calm, still, settled, and centered aspect of the mind itself could be the thought of loving kindness, which doesn't just have to be internally at the very center point of the mind, but also is radiating outwards, so that then all of the diverse and various kinds of objects that can come along in a way are flooded out, as if the thought of loving kindness is, you could think of it as a white, pure light, which is so bright that the objects, all those diverse objects, kind of get washed away. There's then nothing to perceive except the thought of kindness, boundless, without encountering any barrier, going in every direction. So, in this way, without being so technical, without struggling and striving, without gripping onto the meditation with intense effort, but instead being relaxed, natural, just coming to the center and letting that space of stillness and calm become visible, become clear. Let us sit together in silence now for about another 20, 30 minutes. Now is the time for your reflection or questions. If you have any questions about meditation, or if you have a question or an observation on how the story of the child Siddhartha entering into jhana, how that's a meaningful, helpful example for us to follow. Anybody who would like to comment, well, put your hand up and I will call on you. Okay, calling on Diana.
Thank you. I missed the first part of the session coming in. I have read about Siddhartha, but I wanted to give an observation I had about loving kindness. I had this sudden vision of like a seed, a nugget planted right in the center of the cerebral cortex. You know what I mean? It's just like poof, and then it grows out and becomes part of the whole, and it becomes part of our whole being.
Yes.
And that was just something that I just saw it. And so I don't know, could you talk something on that?
Certainly these visual images can be extremely helpful in understanding the meaning much more than a whole paragraph of words. You can understand something in a moment with a visual image, a seed or a pebble or a tiny something which then expands or opens up and becomes an entire universe is a very powerful kind of image. And there is a wonderful way that it's comparable to an aspect of meditation. If someone is trying to develop concentration, they might just be directing awareness to a very small object, like just the sensation of the air on the lip, and not trying to sort of like squinch down their attention on a small thing, but then with the relaxation, then this sense of enclosure or smallness breaks up and it expands and expands and covers everything. There's another metaphor for jhana, which is a person who's, you could say, meditating outside, and it's sunny. They have a white cloth and that they've put over them, so their body is covered with a white cloth, and so then um, the that provides the protection from the burning rays of the sun and from the insects and from the um, any kind of distractions, providing that kind of that safe enclosure. But it's also that like the whiteness of the white cloth. Then it's like the whole universe is nothing but whiteness. So all of these metaphors can help us to let go of having the mind be pulled this way and that way and this way and that way with a lot of diversity, and instead to come to something like a kind of a singleness. So the mind just has got like one flavor at the moment. It's like the flavor of kindness, and that flavor is the only flavor that's in the mind just at that moment. Thank you very much for sharing that image. I'll call on Chintana.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you for that meditation. I was able to be with that large glowing mass while you were speaking of it. But when I went into silent meditation, it was harder for me to conjure that or bring that to be. But what I did do, I guess it was just thinking, remembering, but I was about the same age as Siddhartha, like I was 7 or 8. And I remember being released into the backyard so that I could play on the weekend. And the feelings that I had when I was in the backyard, I'd first run to the swimming pool filter and pull it out and see if there was anything in there that was still alive that I could save. And then I would, move rocks and I'd get caterpillars, and we had an apricot tree I would sit in and the birds would come to that. But just that feeling, just loving that, that really felt a lot like metta, loving kindness to me. So I wanted to share that.
Thank you so much. I want to mention to everyone that Chintana has requested to take the Nakama precepts for the duration of this Vasa. And that means observing the 5 precepts plus observing celibacy, fasting in the afternoon, and giving up dancing, music, perfumes, adornment, etc. So having a simplified and meditative life at home for the duration of this Vasa. Next, this coming Saturday is going to be the in-person Vesak ceremony at the monastery here in Pengrove. And in the morning, Shintana will be taking her Nakama precepts. So if you want to come for that, welcome to do so. Before I call on Daniel, I just want to briefly acknowledge that Venerable Satyama is present with us when we're so lucky that we have a bhikkhuni visiting our program. I like to acknowledge, and if she wants to speak later, I'll call on her. Meanwhile, I'll call on Daniel.
I really appreciated the talk, and I think one thing that you've said a number of times that stands out for me, that I think connects to the story with Siddhartha, is about kind of not forcing it, this sort of allowing these states to sort of gently arise. And I think of him sitting under the tree, not forcing it, right? Just sort of observing things and being it, and then having that experience.
Yeah.
That speaks to me, because I think I can sometimes get in that mindset of forcing it, and really clamping down and trying to focus up, and this notion of, rather than clamping down, letting go,
Yeah.
I think is important to remember.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to be speaking more about this on Tuesday evening, because actually there are the two sides. One is exerting effort, and the other is letting go. And if a person becomes too relaxed about their meditation, the danger is that you will come and sit down on the cushion, but you don't really arrive at the meditation because you didn't leave behind the other activities of daily life or whatever program you were watching or something like that, so that that stream of thinking is still flowing onward, and you didn't come to like stop. So it's very depending on what you need. It may be necessary to come to a point of like make a decision, make a resolution, now to stop, take the activities or the mind of daily life, put that to the side for now, and then relax into the meditation. But I'm glad that the idea of letting the meditation be natural and relaxed is something that helps you. Yeah. Something else I might announce is that I have got some other programs going on. So this afternoon's Sutta study is going to be brought to you by Venerable Bhikkhuni Kachayana, presenting that program this afternoon. And then next Sunday, 1 week from today, so Saturday this week is going to be the Vesak at Dhammadrini Monastery. Sunday, May 11, I will be attending a Vesak ceremony in the East Bay in the Niles district of Fremont. Our friend, Venerable Huntry, who's the leader at a small temple there called the Peace Pagoda, has invited us. And I have got just so much admiration and gratitude for this bhikkhuni. She's a bit of a elder now. And so you won't see me again next Sunday. You'll see me after that. I don't know if there's anybody here who lives in East Bay, but if you live in the East Bay, and if you want to come over to the Peace Pagoda, that program will be happening at 10 o'clock, and probably they'll have lunch and some Dhamma talks and some chanting and things of that nature. And if we don't have any more questions, I'd like to wish you all a peaceful morning and good success in your practice, good inspiration, the arising of confidence in the Buddha, our Buddha, Gautama Buddha, the one who taught the Dhamma and who set up this tradition that is still giving us the nourishment to grow in the practice and to realize true peace and happiness for our own good selves. So we can close by giving respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Araham Samma Sambuddha Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Savakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhamman Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savakasangho Sanghang Namami.
Thank you, Ayya.
Okay, thank you everyone for your practice and your participation today.
Thank you,
Thank
Ayya.
you.
Ayya.